thing, though, is getting there first. And it takes a lot of time. I mean, he's going to have to door knock 30,000 doors to win. We're going to have to put up 500 yard signs. So I know he can do that. He was my campaign manager. He's door knocked for Commissioner Robin West. He helped run a congressional campaign last time around. He understands the work that campaigning takes. And again, for him to stand up and say, I'm ready, I'm willing, and I'm able to do it, he has my support 100%. I hope he has yours. Nolan West.
I know I've said this before, but it still takes some getting used to for people to say nice things about you. It is forever going to be strange to me, perhaps. But thank you so much for coming out. I know this has been a rather arduous hour 3 hours. But it's been a trial, and thanks for sticking it out so you can listen to my little spiel. But one thing I have to stress is this is a high stakes election. When the Democrats had all three branches, they raised taxes by $2.2 billion. They raised the corporate tax, they raised the income tax, they raised the gift tax, they raised the cigarette tax, and now they're fighting to raise the gas tax. Imagine if they had all three branches. $2.2 billion wasn't enough, apparently. You know, and then they also implemented MNsure, which has literally been a disaster from day one. You know, the website didn't work. Now people can't even get their tax forms. You know, you can't file your taxes without the government-mandated health care, and they can't even get you the forms. How are we trusting them to run health care? But, and then, the last but not least, minimum wage. They jacked it up to $9.50 an hour. $9.50 an hour, and then in 2018, it's going to be indexed to inflation. That's ridiculous. Every single year, you're going to have your costs go up for every single business that employs, well, you call them minimum wage workers now, but when you raise that threshold, that's a lot of workers. And if you think you're going to hire a 16-year-old for $10 an hour, who's going to do that? And if you think recent college graduates are incompetent and naive, imagine when they haven't had a job in their entire lives. It's lunacy, and we cannot let that lunacy happen again. When I'm in St. Paul, I will do my best to fight against this kind of stuff. Because it's truly unfathomable what they want to do. Fighting against government growth is so hard. In bad times, they want to increase spending to stimulate the economy. In good times, they want to create new programs to spend even more. We spent over $12 billion more since our 2011 budget. And what have we seen for it? You know, and I will hold the ground on spending, because that is the most lunacy. God, what kind of business jacks up its price tag by 10% every year for what? For what kind of return? And then I will make sure we actually expand our roads and bridges, not transit. You know, we need help on 65, 694, 35W. They all need work. We got to make sure we can get dedicated money. And how do we get that dedicated money? We don't raise taxes. We just use the taxes we already have. Like, you know, taxes you pay for everything to do with your car, those should be towards roads. It only makes sense. You're paying those taxes so you can use the roads. Let's make sure that those taxes are going to what they are for, not to the general fund, and then who knows where they end up. And I will fight for life. I am viciously pro-life, which we need to be when you're talking about something like murder. And then we also need to make sure that we protect against the recent assisted suicide push. You know, we need to protect life from the cradle to the grave, well, from the womb to the grave, for that matter. And I will do that as your state representative. And thank you all for showing up. This is incredible to see all the people who actually are going to put up with this. And you guys are going to be the lifeblood of the campaign. So if I can get your guys' help, your support, lawn signs, fundraising, door knocking with me, that'd be great. I'd greatly appreciate it. But thanks so much for coming out.